everyone. We have a question. What is sannyas? I always liked Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh's answer to this question, which was, sannyas is a crazy way of living life. So even in the answer we have this flavor of playfulness. Sannyas is, in every tradition, it's an initiation onto the path of truth. We can say it's this intention to find truth. So in the perennial tradition, it's the wish to find truth, free from dogmas. That's what sannyas is and what Osho means. It's no longer following belief systems, no longer doing what you're told to do by an authority. It's following your truth. And when we make that commitment in our heart, truth starts to unfold for us. But just like if someone has never been in a relationship, they ask you, what's a relationship? You know. You could tell them some of the benefits, some of the disadvantages, but how do you describe to someone what love is who's never been in love? The only way to know what a relationship is to be in a relationship. It's that obvious, isn't it? When we take sannyas, then it's our heart, our intention to find truth, and we make this intention or this wish to existence. Yeah, so it's between you and existence. The Buddha took sannyas on his own. In Buddhism, this aspect of taking sannyas is called refuge, in which we come under the protection of the Dharma. The Dharma being truth. And we follow the teachings of the Buddha. The Buddha being that one which knows the truth. And the Sangha, the community of those who follow the truth. But in the perennial tradition, this emphasis is on it's you. It's between you and God. And we have teachers that help guide us. When we take sannyas, if we take sannyas from a teacher, we ourselves may wish to engage in a relationship with them. But our obligation is to our own truth. So sannyas is not guru yoga. Guru yoga is when you make a commitment to seeing a human being as God, as the divine, as the Dhammakaya, as pure consciousness. And you make that commitment to relate to that human being in that way, not to criticize them anymore, but to remain with it's called pure view. So you want to spend time with the teacher in which you can develop that. So Guru Yoga is being able to see the divine in imperfection. So it's impossible for a human being to be perfect. Therefore, they say in Dzogchen, it's impossible not to realize the truth without a guru, i.e., it's impossible to realize the truth without being able to see it through our imperfections. Because we need to be able to see that we ourselves are divine. Now, if we can't see it in someone else who that we've spent time with, trusting, recognizing, say that they're further along the path than us. If you're further along the path than someone else, you're obviously not going to take them as your guru for Guru Yoga. It'd be pretty silly. So we recognize that they're further along the path and we see them as beautiful. Yeah? Whichever being we recognize or feel a heartfelt joy with, we can take that one as our guru, and we see the divine in them, which helps us see the divine in ourselves. All the good qualities that we would see in a guru are only reflections of our own mind anyway. And is it true or not that it's easier to find faults in someone else than ourselves? Is it easier or not? Do we not have more clarity in seeing when someone else is making a mistake, but we may make that same mistake ourselves but not see it? Is it easier or not to think that someone is a hero rather than ourselves? Like a musician, that we think they're special. Have you ever had that feeling that you see a musician or an actor and you think, oh, they're amazing? But do you feel that about yourself? It's just easier, isn't it? It's natural that we look outside ourselves. That principle, that mechanism of consciousness, we see another human being as spiritual. And we use that energy to understand that's who we are. So if we criticize that one who we know to be further on the path, how will we find our own self? Because we're criticizing our own divineness. And to criticize the divine is a separation. Can you criticize God? So that's Guru Yoga. So it's important to distinguish between the two. And yes, you enter a relationship of initiation directly through, say, empowerments with a teacher, and you engage in a karmic bond. With sannyas, you're free to have anyone as your guru, that you take anyone into your heart, and you can engage with any being. There's no commitment. It's just, with sannyas, it's more that the teacher just gives and gets nothing back, and you just take, really. And you just imbibe and take from the teacher for as long as you like, and then you're free to move on whenever you like. With Guru Yoga, you engaged in a commitment. Yeah. So there's different traditions, different paths of that personal level, like the guru can tell people who they can marry, or where they can go, where they should live, what they should practice. Yeah, there's all different levels of that commitment, and it's for life, lives. So it's a method and a practice, but everyone on the path has to take sannyas, because sannyas is the wish to find truth and to commit to truth. And so you can just have God as your witness to do it, or you can have a teacher. I think for many people, there's a natural progression of wanting to have a teacher, then become a guru. So you develop, if you take sannyas with a teacher, then you can ask for a new name from them and be there to witness you take sannyas. And they can, engage with you about your practice and make suggestions. But with sannyas, you don't have to do it. It's a different, but you're developing a relationship. So there's different schools of thought on how long that relationship should last. So I've heard like 12 years. You'd be with a teacher for 12 years before you take guru yoga with them. Well, it depends how old you are, depends on your level of love and wisdom. You may meet a teacher and wish to practice guru yoga immediately. But even so, you may want to keep that in your heart, but still spend some time to see if that's just an initial burst of joy and whether you can sustain it. Because what you're doing with guru yoga, is seeing the divine in imperfection. So it's the more imperfect your teacher is, the better. Because we see ourselves so low that if you can see the divine in someone who's very close to you, you'll be able to see it in yourself very easily. So we can see that's a very intimate and profound commitment to seeing truth through a being, one being in particular. You'd have many different gurus, but that real initiation commitment of guru yoga. Whereas sannyas is just in your heart, I now wish to dedicate my life to finding truth. And you can do that on your own and say, if you find a teacher to witness you taking that, then you can start to develop a relationship with that teacher. And because every teacher has their own personality. There's a phrase in Tibet, every Lama has his own Dharma. And if you can't get on with that personality, then go and find, you can find another teacher. Yeah, there's no problem like that. There's no problem. If people come with mixed ideas or wrong ideas about sannyas and guru yoga, they can have this conflict about leaving a teacher or what the teacher's meant to do and all this stuff. So I hope that's clear, that you could just take sannyas on your own. In Buddhism, you can take refuge on your own. think like a relationship, we enjoy love. And we enjoy falling in love with someone. We enjoy falling in love with a path. The path is not something outside, it's that truth moving through our human connections. And then finding a lineage, which is the stream of blessing that we connect with, that again we have to see beyond personalities. Unless we see beyond personalities, how are you going to realize selflessness? So I hope this helps. Sannyas is a tremendous adventure because you're moving towards truth. And it's freedom. You see, so it's cutting through belief systems. When we're engaging in the practice, it's called Dzogchen in Tibetan, the great encompassment, the great completion, the great perfection. The practice is called Trekcha, cutting through. We're cutting through non-truth to truth. We're cutting through all belief systems. We're cutting through attachment to anything. We're cutting through attachment to even the Buddha. We're cutting through attachment to every single anchor and belief system. And that's what sannyas is. It's cutting through to truth. Or we could, another name for this is to be a Sufi. To be someone who does not believe anything. To someone who doesn't identify with any form, any structure, any system. Freedom. And someone who does not reject any structure, any system, can move freely with them. This is sannyas. But one has to take sannyas to know what sannyas is. So I hope this helps. So I have the magic button, let's see if it works.